All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about a word that's, well, everywhere these days, blockchain. But look, we're not going to get lost in the weeds with code or all the market hype. Nope, we're going to treat this for what it is for you, a really important strategic conversation about where business is heading. So let's get to it. And really, this is the question, isn't it? Is this just another shiny object, another tech trend that'll be gone in a year? Or are we looking at something that could completely rewire how entire industries work? The whole point of this briefing is to give you the tools to answer that question for your own company. Okay, so before we can even talk strategy, we all need to be on the same page. We need to speak the same language. So in this first part, we're just going to cut through all that noise and get right to the core idea that makes this whole thing tick. We're going to strip out the jargon and focus on the one concept you absolutely have to understand. At its heart, what we're talking about is something called distributed ledger technology, or DLT. Now, what on earth is that? The easiest way to think about it is like this. Imagine a shared digital notebook. Now, everyone who's involved gets their own identical copy of this notebook. When someone adds a new entry, it magically updates for everyone at the exact same time. And here's the kicker. No one can go back and secretly erase or change an old entry, and no single person owns the notebook. It's a single source of truth that everyone can see and, more importantly, trust. So you're probably thinking, a magic notebook? Come on. Well, that trust doesn't come from magic, of course. It's actually built on what you can think of as a core operating system. And this system has 3 foundational pillars. Understanding these is absolutely crucial because they are the secret sauce. They're what makes this technology so powerful for business. Let's break them down. This is where it gets really interesting because you can see how these technical ideas translate directly into business value. First, you've got decentralization. This just means there's no single server to hack, no one company in charge that can fail. That creates some serious security and resilience. Then there's immutability. This means that once a record is made, it's permanent. It cannot be changed. For anyone who's ever dealt with audits or compliance, you know this is a total game changer. And finally, transparency. All the participants on the network can see the same version of the truth, which builds trust automatically, even between parties who don't know each other. But here's the thing. This technology hasn't just been sitting still. It's evolved a lot. It started out doing one famous thing, but it's grown into something much more. To really get a grip on its potential for your business, you need to understand where it came from and, more importantly, where it's going. So this is the crucial shift right here. The first version, Blockchain 1.0, you know it as Bitcoin. It was all about creating a new kind of digital money. That's it. But then came Blockchain 2.0 with platforms like Ethereum. And they asked a much bigger, much more powerful question. Hey, what if we could put more than just money on this super trustworthy ledger? What if we could put code, programmable logic on it? And that question leads us straight to this idea of smart contracts. This is the big leap forward. The best way to think of a smart contract is like a really smart vending machine. But instead of snacks, it handles complex business deals. You put in the required items, say a payment goes in and a confirmation of delivery is received, and bam, the machine automatically releases the asset, like a title deed or a software license. It's a contract that runs itself, that enforces itself. And that means you can cut out a lot of the expensive middlemen and speed things up dramatically. Okay, so you can start to see the potential, right? Your mind might be racing with ideas. But the next big question is, where do you even start? What do you build on? This is the first major fork in the road for any strategist. And it's not just some techie detail. It's a huge business decision that really defines what you'll be able to do. You've essentially got 2 main flavors to choose from. On one side, you have public chains, like Ethereum. Think of these like the public internet. They're open, anyone can join, anyone can participate. That's great for apps that face the general public. But on the other side, you have permissioned chains, like Hyperledger Fabric. Think of this as a private, members-only club. You have to be invited in. Access is totally restricted to approved users, which makes it perfect for businesses working with other businesses, where things like privacy and control are absolutely critical. Which one's right? Well, it depends completely on what you're trying to do. So, we've covered the what, the why, and the how it's built. We've laid the groundwork. Now, we get to the most important part of all. What do you, as a leader, actually do with all this? It's time to go from theory to real, concrete action. Think of this slide as your roadmap. These are the conversations you need to be having right now. First, use case identification. Forget the hype. Where is there a real, painful problem in your business that this technology could solve? Next, feasibility. You have to ask, Can we build a small, manageable pilot project, a proof of concept to see if this actually works for us without, betting the entire company on it? Then you got to think bigger. Transformation. Can this do more than just make us a little more efficient? Can it unlock totally new ways of making money? And finally, governance. How are you actually going to manage this? Who's in charge? How do you handle the risks? At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this. This isn't about you becoming a coder or a crypto expert. It's about leadership. Your job is to see the strategic potential, to ask these tough questions, and to be the one who guides your organization through what's coming. And I'll just leave you with this final thought. This conversation, it's already happening. It's happening in boardrooms all over the world. So the question isn't if this technology is going to matter. The real question is how and when. The leaders who start asking these strategic questions today, well, they're the ones who are going to be building the businesses of tomorrow. The ball's in your court now.